Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pitchside Podcast channel. I'm your host, the HOD of the PSB. Like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications always to receive all the updates from these match recaps and, of course, the podcast episodes, which you can listen to on Spotify, Google Podcast, or any other platform. Follow us on social media. I'm at PSB on Twitter and Pitchside Pod on Instagram, and we're coming to you straight after the game between Lazio and Bayern Munich in the round of 16 of the Champions League ended at the Olympico Stadium, and it was a very comprehensible victory, I would say, for Bayern Munich 4-1. I think after the third goal, it was never in doubt that Bayern are going to be commanding this game. This was, I think, a game where Bayern won by the least of effort, I would say. They pretty much played for 35 to 40 minutes in the first half. That's where they mostly dominated. In the second half, it was game management, trying to save the players for bigger dates. I mean, the classic guys on the horizon. There's a game, of course, the second leg as well. League games are coming thick and fast. And with the limited squad, surprisingly for this game, only 6 subs on the list for Bayern Munich, it made this quite the tough task, I think, for trying to preserve the players compared to the unbelievable amount of subs that Lazio had. They had the luxury of making 5 substitutions as a whole in different situations, but I think most of these were forced by the fact that Lazio were underwhelmingly slow in this game, and that was one of the most surprising things for me. Obviously, I said with the whatever trio is going to be starting in the back, it's not going to have the same mechanism, the same sort of dynamic nature as the usual trio of Acerbi, Patrick and Radu, and with one of those missing, of course, the replacement was Musacchio, and he delivered the first blow in Lazio's Champions League hopes, really giving away. I think even if he didn't give away that goal for Lewandowski, I think Bayern would have scored anyway. They had such a strong start in the first 15 minutes, completely flipping my expectations. I thought they would start pretty slow, but it was Lazio starting pretty slow. They were caught a couple of times. Nicolas Süle, for all of my reservation against him as a right back, looked like prime Cafu there, getting past the likes of Marisic and Musacchio on a couple of times early on in the game before the goal, and then of course the gift, which you don't give for someone like Lewandowski, up front. Of course, Bayern from there went on to dominate even more. They scored the second goal by Jamal Musiala in 24 minutes. I mean, that guy is just brilliant. He understands his positioning really well. Leon Goretzka intercepting the ball pretty high. A giveaway from the goalkeeper, by the way, if you didn't get the memo. A giveaway from Reina ended up in Goretzka getting the ball, and then, of course, setting up Musiala, who finished so coolly and so calmly past Pepe Reina for the second goal. Leroy Sané managed to add a third, and that was, I think, game, set, and match overall for Bayern in the first half. The second half started with Bayern scoring a fourth goal, or Acerbi, should I say, making another defensive mistake, adding to Musacchio's already first one. By the way, Musacchio was subbed in the first half as a result of that mistake, clearly shaken from that experience. Francesco Acerbi scored the fourth goal on his own net, making it 4-0 for Bayern. The goal from Correa was, consolation more than anything else. Correa was probably the best player for Lazio in a side that was underwhelmingly slow, and I think surprisingly slow. Immobile didn't have a lot of chances. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic didn't have a lot of chances. I think Correa and Lazzari had a decent game comparatively. Lazzari had a good battle with Alphonso Davies on that right-hand side of Lazio's attack, but certainly not to the extent that would annoy Bayern, really. The second half, again, was mostly Lazio in the first 15-20 minutes, and then as the game wore on, and, Lazio made pretty much desperate substitution. Hurt was introduced for Patrick, Escalante for Lucas Leiva. It was just substitution for the sake of substitution. Lazio had no solution whatsoever for Bayern. Bayern could have scored a couple more. They had a couple of chances and opportunities. They didn't want to press so much on the gas, and obviously they didn't want to put their foot on the gas because they know that they have a limited squad relatively, but they should get some of their players fit for the second leg, for the next couple of games in the league as well. And overall, this was more comfortable than I expected. This was, I think, too comfortable to a certain point to be believable even. I mean, I wanted a clean sheet, that didn't happen, but overall I think Bayern played a really smart game. They managed the game really well. They took the opportunities when they had ones, they capitalized on the mistake, they pressed high. That's the opportunity of having someone like Kimmich and Goretzka in that midfield. When you put those two together, I was really afraid that he would put one of them in his wrong place. Goretzka as a number 10 maybe, which was on paper what's going to be happening, Kimmich or Kimmich as a right back, but Thankfully, I think in this case, he went for the double pivot of Kimmich and Goretzka, and it was a well done sort of trick by Hansi Flick. They dominated the midfield. Kimmich was brilliant as usual. Goretzka was just on fire. Hopefully he's fine. He was subbed off for Martinez. He looked like he has something in his shoulder. I hope he's fine. And overall, Bayern Munich just walked over Lazio for most of the first half, and for the second half they preserved their forces for the second game. That's, I think, this result. It was just aside from the result I expected. I predicted 3-1 for Bayern. It was 4-1. Good. I expected them to score. They scored. I expected them to concede goals. They did. But overall, Bayern on the quarterfinal, I would assume. This will not make any difference, I think, in the overall result. Bayern would go through. Lazio, thank you for participating in the Champions League. We'll see you next season, hopefully. Thank you for watching / listening for this review. Like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, enable notifications to receive all the updates from these match recaps and other content on the channel. Follow us on social media. I'm at PSP on Twitter, PitchSidePod on Instagram, and tomorrow, wait for us on the podcast to dive more into this game and the game between Atletico Madrid and Chelsea, which ended for Chelsea 1-0. What a surprise, really, considering the score I predicted. And thank you for watching. I was your boy, the HOD of the PSP, and until the next time, you'll see me soon. Goodbye.